Who was that angel of the Lord who guided the Israelites through the wilderness? Exodus 14:19. And the angel of God which went before the camp of Israel removed and went behind them, and the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. So who was that angel of the Lord who guided the Israelites through the wilderness? Exodus 14:20. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. So now, who is this before the children of Israel when it says an angel of the Lord? Who was the Spirit guiding Moses out of Egypt through the wilderness? Well, this can easily be understood by going into the New Testament. 1 Corinthians 10:1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that ye should be ignorant, how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea. They were under the cloud. This speaks of divine guidance and protection. They passed through the sea. This is in reference to the divine deliverance of the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. 1 Corinthians 10:2. And were all baptized unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea. That means the Israelites had to go through water to be saved on dry land. At that time, they were crossing the Red Sea on dry land. 1 Corinthians 10:3. And did all eat the same spiritual meat. That spiritual meat is manna from up above. The Most High rained down manna for his people to consume. 1 Corinthians 10:4. And did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. The spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Christ. So who was guiding the Israelites in the Spirit through the wilderness out of Egypt? It was Christ. So the angel of the Most High that we are reading about right here, it is the Son of the Almighty, Christ himself. Exodus 14:20. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel, and it was a cloud and darkness to them, but it gave light by night to these, so that the one came not near the other all the night. It was Christ protecting the children of Israel, the camp of Israel, from Pharaoh's army. Exodus 14:21. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. The waters were divided 12 ways, 12 streams for each tribe. So it wasn't like what we see in the Ten Commandment movie, where it was just one split and everybody is running through one split. No, the Most High took control of the Red Sea. The angels through Christ then moved through the waters and smite the waters, and dry land divided it 12 ways, so that each tribe of Israel could go through at the same time. Exodus 14:22 through 25. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drove them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. Verse 25 says, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drove them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. This is the power that's needed when it comes to the battle against the enemy. And this is why it tells us in the Bible that the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, and that vengeance is the Most High's. It belongs to the Lord. We are not to fight unless Christ goes before us. Exodus 14:26. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thine hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. Verse 27. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. That was Christ fighting. Christ and the angels fighting for Israel at the command of the Most High. Exodus 14:28. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. Verse 29. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Verse 30. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. Verse 31. And Israel saw that great work which the Lord did upon the Egyptians, and the people feared the Lord, and believed the Lord and his servant Moses. And at that point, the people started to understand. They realized Moses was the one sent, and that the God of the Hebrews is the God of all gods. That was total confirmation amongst the elders and all the 12 tribes that our God, the God of Abraham, was the God of all gods. Ahia, Ashur, Ahia, the great I am. Now you would have thought that after this, that there would be total compliance in obedience amongst the children of Israel in the wilderness. After seeing the power from on high, fighting against a carnal army, a Pharaoh they once feared, you would have thought that the Israelites would have united and respected the power of that God. But that didn't happen so easily. Exodus 16:1. And they took their journey from Elam, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came unto the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elam and Sinai, on the 15th day of the 2nd month after their departing out of the land of Egypt. Verse 2. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel murmured against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. Look at that. They began to murmur against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. So it's as if the plagues which we read about that they all witnessed never happened in Egypt. They witnessed our God single-handedly through Moses and Aaron taking down a Pharaoh, an empire they once feared. He just split the Red Sea in 12 parts and had them walk over on dry land. He sent Christ and his angels to destroy Pharaoh's army, and as soon as they got over to safety, there were Israelites who felt that they had the authority to murmur against whom the Most High set up. Exodus 16:3. And the children of Israel said unto them, Would to God we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the flesh pots, and when we did eat bread to the full, for ye have brought us forth into this wilderness to kill this whole assembly with hunger. They said, This God could have just killed us in Egypt. Total rebellion against the Most High and ungratefulness. Exodus 16:4. Then said the Lord unto Moses, Behold, I will rain bread from heaven for you, and the people shall go out and gather a certain rate every day, that I may prove them whether they will walk in my law or no. The Most High said, I will rain angels' food on them, just to prove if they will appreciate me or turn their backs on me. The Most High said, I'm going to prove what type of people this is. Every day they come out with their baskets. I'll rain down manna, angels' food on them. This is how much the Most High loved them, raining angels' food after complaining. Exodus 16:5. And it came to pass that on the 6th day they shall prepare that which they bring in, and it shall be twice as much as they gather daily. Verse 6. And Moses and Aaron said unto the children of Israel, At even, then ye shall know that the Lord had brought you out from the land of Egypt. Verse 7. And in the morning, then ye shall see the glory of the Lord, for that he heareth your murmurings against the Lord. And what are we that ye murmur against us? Verse 8. And Moses said, This shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full, for that the Lord heareth your murmuring, which ye murmur against him. And what are we? Your murmurings are not against us, but against the Lord. You are not murmuring against servants who are sent. Your murmurings are against the God who had sent the servants. Murmuring, a soft, low sound produced by a person or a group of people speaking quietly or at a distance. This story about the children of Israel should teach us a valuable lesson. As children of the Most High, we should never be ungrateful, unthankful unto the God who made us. We should not take for granted God's mercy, faithfulness, and provision in our lives. I encourage you to always give thanks with a grateful heart to God, no matter what circumstances you may find yourself in. Until next time, always remember that you can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Find your strength through Christ. Please subscribe to the channel, like, comment, and share the videos. Be blessed always.